Can I just, on this point, the AV campaign, the NOtoAV campaign, in some parts of debates, say that AV will lead to more home parliaments, a more proportional system, and therefore we'll have more deals behind closed doors. In other debates, they say the trouble with AV is it leads to much bigger majorities for governments, and that we won't have a proportional representation as our system. It seems to me that they spin around on both sides of a...
Do you know what, Paul? It would be much better if you let us make our arguments and you made yours.
But I thought I was just replying to Tim.
You're actually trying to conflate several different things there and trying to sort of blow smoke and muddy waters, you know. There's a great deal of difference here. That it's not us that say...
You listen to the voters.
That it's not us that say there will be more hung parliaments. It's actually professional psephologists that say that, and it's to do with the British parliamentary makeup. So it's not us that say that. Let's get that clear right before we start. Okay, but you know we're quite happy to answer questions from the voters. I'd rather not answer questions from the other end of the table.
Okay, I'd like to remind speakers that they will have a chance to give summary speeches and give their closing arguments, but we do want to try and answer some of the questions from the floor. So if you have a question, please raise your hand now. Great. Gentleman in the check shirt.
Do
you want to just wait for the mic?
No, sorry. As a student, I've been quite horrified by the way the current coalition kind of pushed through the student fees without kind of on the votes of people that, of MPs that weren't voted in such a manner. Whether or not it causes, causes coalition itself, AV is going to cause more coalitions. Having said that, I've been equally horrified by the tactics of the No campaign, which have been kind of, saying it's more expensive. Like, if it's more expensive, let's just kind of have one person make all the decisions and kind of get rid of democracy. Implying this bad thing that's going to be like giving votes to women. Doesn't matter.
Which I approve of.
Why does it seem like that's the point? Why does the man think that the No campaign is actually doing harm to the chances of a no vote coming through?
Well, I speak as I find. If you look on my website, you'll find that one of the top things that I want to do is bring honesty to politics. Okay? And I said in the No campaign, and laugh all you like, that's fine, it's what I believe in. But the reality of the thing is that a difference of opinion is not a lie, it's not dishonest. Okay? I might radically disagree with what they're saying, and I do. It's a polarised debate. Okay? They want one thing, I don't want it. It's going to polarise the debate. But I've always rigidly stuck to the facts. Now, if you want to know about the expense, which is where you came from, is that dishonest? No, it isn't. And I'll tell you why. Australia is different. He said it. I agree with him. But I also said it's the only place we could look, because it's the only functioning democracy that properly uses it.
Why is it a bad thing that it's so more expensive?
Hang on.
In Australia it's more expensive.
But I didn't say
Can we have an order? If you'd like to reply, you'll have a chance.
I didn't say it's a bad thing, but it's something you need to know. Now, if we don't use voting machines, we still have to deliver the ballot in a timely manner, as we have done in Britain always. And to do that is expensive. How do I know this? I'm a councillor. Part of my portfolio is the democratic services. It's the people who run the campaigns. I can tell you that they are telling me it's much more expensive for a large number of reasons. But what the Yes campaign haven't done is told us how much it will cost. They say it'll cost a pencil. Well, I'm sorry, it's not a lie, it's dishonest, it's not true. Okay? It won't cost just a pencil. It won't cost more. I believe it's right that all of our voters in the country go to the election knowing exactly the truth about what they're voting for. And that's why I'll stand on this platform and tell you what I believe to be the truth.
Any more questions from the floor? A lady in the next to the guy in the green t-shirt.
the AV bill in Parliament will be with the constituency boundary changing, am I right? I'm a bit concerned about my focus is on the constituency boundary because, from my understanding, some people have said that it's not going to be affected by the AV result, but others have said it's going to go through anyway. And I want to know what's going to happen with the constituency boundary with this vote.
Just to clarify, there are some proposed changes to constituency. There are actual changes to some constituency boundaries, and the question was, how would AV affect it?
Yeah.
Is that right? And
This vote won't affect it at all. It's a separate issue.
Done.
It's just
We all agreed.
This is purely a fact that there are 50 fewer constituencies. 50 fewer, it goes down to 600 from 650. So there will be larger numbers of electors in each constituency. The entire change.
I'm just concerned because I'm from Wales, and apparently under AV we're going to lose 10% we're going to lose about 10 MPs, we're going to lose 10% of our recognition or something like that.
That's not under AV, that's under the boundary change legislation.
Yeah.
And so whether you vote yes or no to AV makes no difference to that issue of boundary changes.
Okay.
That's a separate part of the same bill. Okay. What's actually happened is that all of the constituencies are normalised to a similar size. So there were some of them that had sort of very small numbers, like 25, 30,000 electorate. Some of them had 120,000 electorate. So there was a bill that made them all roughly the same size, and that has made some changes.
We're going to have 2 last questions and then take a vote. So can I have the gentleman in the black polo shirt? Yeah.
I'm not sure which way I want to vote. I certainly believe that the system we've got at the minute isn't perfect and isn't improving. I've got questions both sides. Do the No campaign think that if I vote no to AV, that there will not be a chance then in the future to have another referendum or have another change to the voting system? And while I to the Yes campaign think that if I vote yes, we're then going to be stuck with AV for a long time. In short, if I want change, which I'm not sure I want to stick with AV, should I vote yes or no?
Alex, perhaps you'd like to answer that? Sorry, Billy.
Well, I don't know.
If you don't know, you could obviously pass it to someone else.
I would say your best bet if you want huge change is to go with a no vote. Obviously, I am going to say that, but Labour Party had in the manifesto a commitment to holding a referendum with all the options on the table. We didn't say what we were supporting, we just said we were saying there would be a referendum with all of the options. Voting no leaves that path still open. Voting yes goes, we've got some reform, there you go. And I think you'll actually find a lot of people will say, got some reform, be happy with that. See how that goes for 20, 30 years, 40 years. We've had first class votes for quite a long time. Nick Clegg has said we're not going to get another referendum on any issue after this one. So a yes vote is probably not going to get you any further towards, I assume,
But the Labour Party didn't do it when they had the chance. They were in power
Oh,
for 12 years and didn't do anything.
It was our commitment in the 2010 manifesto,
It was
not a
a
commitment
commitment before the
before.
Labour Party came to power and they just backslid on it.
Well,
Sorry.
If you'd like to ask a question, please raise your hand. And I think you were asking to yes.
Yes, I'm not sure AV is the right answer. How do I know that if I vote yes to AV now, we won't be stuck with AV for a very long time?
Well, I agree with you. My ultimate aim is to get proportional representation.
I
A vote
don't
no.
know.
A vote no. Well, either way, that's my aim. But a vote no will be taken as a vote for the status quo. And you know, there's other systems which we could move on to more naturally and organically from AV. I mean, there's AV Plus, which is a system which I quite like, which is similar to the one they use in Scotland. So there's changes which can happen, but ultimately we don't know in the future. We don't know how politicians can manipulate it. But the point is, it is in the interest of the leading party always to keep with first past the post. And the only opportunity we get for reform comes about with hung parliaments, and they come about
you were saying that Labour want to have a choice between all the different voting systems, yeah?
Yeah.
What voting system were they going to use for the referendum on the voting system?
It's actually not true. The Labour manifesto included a commitment to a referendum on AV. Yeah, I know I stood under that manifesto and I didn't agree with it. But that was the Labour Party's position. It wasn't to have a vote on all the systems.
It's not true. Fine, you can say that, but it's not true. It was a commitment to everyone. We are clearly just going to say the other one is not true.
Okay.